Alright. Act 3.
I had hoped to find you. Unlike the rest of the Baz filth in this city, the Arishok considered you Basalit An. Many Kunari fell in Kirkwall when we departed. I am sent to gather their swords. If you find a Kunari sword, return it to me.
Don't you want their bodies too?
Their husks serve no purpose. The weapons shall satisfy a demand of the Qun.
What do I get if I bring one to you?
It is reward enough to complete a worthy task. But if you crave gold, that can be arranged.
I'll keep an eye out.
You will find me here.
He's been waiting here for 3 years. Sorry.
You've certainly come a long way, Hawk.
That ruckus has been going on for some time. Can you calm him down?
Be quiet. All right, let's see.
Please don't open the door.
You've caught a burglar. Good boy.
My legs are cramping. Please, just let me go.
You expect me to just let you walk out of here?
Please, Sarah. I was seduced by a crime at a very young age, but your guard monster has scared me towards a path of honest work.
If I let you go, others would take me for an easy mark.
What? No!
Hope you enjoyed your dinner, boy.
I'm sorry about your mama. I will miss her.
I can't bring myself to change anything about Mother's room.
The old lady is scary. There is no old lady, Sandal. How many times do I have to tell you that?
What's this about?
Oh, my boy sees things sometimes. Says he saw an old lady standing by his bed. She has a scary laugh. Yes, well, there you go.
Got a bit of a wedgie there, Sandal?
Could I have some salamanders, please?
Don't do it. That's where the boom comes from, I think. Things have been very troubling these last few years, haven't they? I was thinking that it might soon be time for my boy and I to move on.
What about your so-called debt?
Well, I have served you for years now. Not to mention that you do have your Rana. You don't really need me. It's an honor to serve the champion of Kirkwall. Make no mistake. But I'm getting older. It's time to see the Sandal's future. I'll stay on until arrangements are made. I hope that's all right.
I didn't need a manservant in the first place.
Good. Then it's settled. Hopefully this business with the Templars doesn't get worse before we go. I worry about you, Miss Eyre.
Yeah, Hawk is not in a great place, as you can imagine. 3 years later, and it's still hard for her to deal with what happened to Leandra. It's funny, it shows Bethany is actually wearing the robe here on the menu screen, but for some reason she wasn't before, so... Anyways, let's head on over by ourselves. Let's go to the Hanged Man, shall we?
I thought I killed all the Kunari. Do I know you?
Tal-Vashoth, once of the Wounded Coast. I had left my fellows. You convinced me to turn on them. It was long ago. I am now Maras, mercenary of Kirkwall. Time has been kind to your name, champion.
Does Maras mean something?
It means nothing. I have no role, except for what I choose.
Is that good or bad?
It just is.
I'm surprised to see any Kunari or Tal-Vashoth in the city.
The Kunari died with the Arishak, as they believed they were meant to. Many Tal-Vashoth were also killed, just in case. Time has calmed those fears. Now I am hired as much for my appearance as my skill. Life is comfortably empty. I see the appeal.
Do I have to worry about this old scar?
I felt no kinship to those dead when they lived. You pushed, but the killing was my choice. It led to many more, for many reasons. So no, you and I are not enemies.
So, interested in some work?
Yes, but not with you.
Why?
I do not work for those with titles. They do not have jobs, they have causes. When you stand for more, more stand against you.
Farewell then.
Panehedan, Sira Hawk.
By the way, the fact that we had the whole thing with the Arishok and the whole him naming us Basiliton, that will play a role later on when we get to the DLC with Talus.
Sober up. We need to talk.
3 years later, and we need to talk.
And no, we don't. You're avoiding me. I've barely seen you for the last 3 years.
You don't need me. You're the champion of Kirkwall. Remember what you said after the mess with the Kunari.
You were to blame for the Kunari being here. For all the deaths.
Yes, it's true. I could have handed the relic back to the Kunari, or never stolen it in the first place. I didn't because I'm selfish. You were right about that too. The fact is, you and I have nothing in common anymore. You're a champion, and I'm just a lying, thieving snake.
You're just afraid of being anything else.
I don't know how to be anything else.
Rubbish. Stop making excuses for yourself. You're a better person than you think.
Fine, Hawk. You're probably right about that too. Tell you what, I'll be here if you need me. I'm bored of this. We should do something fun.
If you think that was bad, I should tell you about the Black Marsh.
See, when you say things like that, Blondie, it just makes me glad I didn't know you sooner. Who goes to a place named Black Marsh on purpose? Now, if they called it Beer Marsh. No, still doesn't work.
You've got a point. The marsh part does cancel out anything else. Flower Marsh, Kitten Marsh. No, no good. Ah, you've got company. I'll see you later.
Hawk, what can I do for you?
What was Anders here for?
Only place in Kirkwall he can get a decent drink. Blondie comes by here and I put him on my tab. He's got some stories about his days in Ferelden that sound implausible, even to me. He's not bad for a mage. Crazy, but that's most everyone in this city.
Any news in the city I should know about?
Nothing you don't know already. The Viscount's departure, a vacuum of power, troubles brewing. Get rid of one thread and another appears. I'm starting to think this city's in love with crisis. Of course, you also seem to thrive on turmoil. Lucky for you.
Of course, as you can imagine, with it being a new act, gotta go explore all the different areas to find new things, new stuff to loot, new special quests and such.
Need a little special something for that special someone.
I totally forgot I actually got those. So see, now we're getting the champion set, which you'll notice is actually also so I believe this is part of a mod I've got where it allows the champion set to actually level up. Now, I tried to set it up where you can actually pick it up right from the get-go in Act 1, but it just never seemed to work. Like, the mod said it was supposed to actually let me be able to acquire a champion's armor set at the gallows when we first get there before Act 1 gets underway, and it just never popped up. It never showed up. So that's why I ended up getting the Dragon Knight set. Alright, so nothing new for him to sell.
You know that he knows that you know. Exactly. Nine.
Alright, so now let's go talk to Fenris.
Are you certain it's her?
An elf matching your description on the ship you named. And alone, as far as I could tell.
I need to know if it's a trap.
I did as you asked, Fenris. Now it's up to you. You talk to him, Hawk. I've had my fill for today.
Then heed it, first of us.
Swearing won't accomplish anything.
It's my sister. I didn't tell you, but I followed up on Hadriana's information. Everything she said was true. I had to keep it quiet, but I eventually contacted Verania and sent her coin enough to come meet me. And now she's here.
She was in Corinus after all.
My sister left Magister Araman's service, and I found her in Minrathus. That made things more difficult. But according to the men I paid, it's just as Hadriana said. She's not a slave. She's a tailor, in fact. Getting a letter to her was difficult, and she didn't believe me at first. But she's finally come.
Just standing here won't help.
It's not that easy. Come with me, Hawk. I need you there when I meet her.
I thought you said there was no point in meeting her.
I can't simply leave it like this. I have to know. If we go to the Hanged Man during the day, she'll be there, for the next week at least. It would mean a lot to me. That's all I ask.
Alright, so let's go back to our house, because I want to see what that letter is. Isabella?
I heard about it.
That's private. You only make the trip here when you want something. What is it this time?
Guess what? Castillon's in town, and I'm not waiting around for him to stick a knife in my vitals. We're going to get him before he gets me.
That rule has served me well.
Unfortunately, Castillon's holed up somewhere in Kirkwall. I haven't been able to find him. I do know where Velasco is, however. That's his right hand. We just have to make him tell us where Castillon is. Somehow.
I have ways of making people talk.
That's not going to work. You'll just end up killing him. We'll have to think of something else.
If we kill him and search his body, we might find something.
Or we could find nothing and get nowhere.
Couldn't we just ask Velasco where Castillon is? Nicely.
He's not going to reveal anything willingly. I can't risk him getting suspicious and alerting Castillon.
Castillon wants you. Why not let Velasco bring you to him?
And you follow me? Ooh, that's clever. I was going to suggest challenging Velasco to a riddle game and making Where's Your Boss one of the riddles. This is so much better.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Velasco's been spending his nights at the brothel, enjoying its many splendors. That's where we'll find him.
Champion, I require your assistance in a matter of great urgency. Please report to the Templar Hall in the gallows at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Knight Commander Meredith. Messer Hawk, in case you don't remember, we met in the gallows a few years ago. You saved my life. Twice, in fact. Bethany sends her love. I should have recognized the family resemblance sooner. Knowing Bethany, it now makes perfect sense that you, of all the people in Thedas, would be the one to rescue me. It's not the kindest thing to say, but nobody misses Sir Ulrich. Not even the other Templars. I know it's hard to imagine, but they don't want to fight. They want things to be normal. No harrowings, no tranquil, no one dying. But none of us are getting that wish now. So many dark whispers in the circle. Terrible days are coming for all of us. Your sister and I will pray that Andraste keeps you safe. Sincerely, Ella. Messer, interest rates are the lowest they've been in 200 years, making this the perfect time to take out a mortgage on your estate. The next Viscount will likely raise rates, and if you wait too long, this chance will pass you by. When the Chantry demands tithes on all Hightown estates, where will you be? The lending house of Tankum, Salmer, and Greece can take you through the process of mortgaging your estate with ease and confidence, leaving you with nothing to do but admire your wealth. Speak to our accountant in the Dwarven Merchants Guild for a free consultation before time runs out. Dear Champion, a title is a poor reward for all that you did for this city against the Qunari. Would that I could give you what you truly deserve. In the meantime, accept this gift and know that I will always consider you a champion of our faith as much as a defender of our city. Warm regards, Knight Commander Meredith. To the Champion of Kirkwall, you've done so much for so many people, so you probably don't remember me, but you saved my life. I've spent 3 years thinking about what that awful Lord Harriman might have done to me. Surely the Maker sent you to shine his light on that madhouse. When I left and walked into the sun, it was like waking from a nightmare. I don't know how we endured it. That place was a spider's web, and we were the flies. I didn't know where to go at first, but I ended up seeking shelter at the Chantry in Starkhaven. I'm a sister now, and I take my vows next month. They've given me a chance to pay back the good fortune that you gave me, and they've even taught me to read and write. Me, the daughter of a washerwoman. With eternal gratitude, Sister Ariel.
Now that you're the champion of Kirkwall, it seems everyone wants something, don't they?
No kidding. So yeah, by siding with Meredith, you actually get a Knight Templar piece of gear. Now let's see. Oh, that's right, I stashed my runes away. Alright, let's continue to go around and speak to people. Let's go visit Merrill.
Come on, Daisy. You've been holed up in here for days. If you don't get some sunshine, you'll wilt.
I'm not a plant, Varric. I'm fine.
Just take a walk around the Lowtown Market. Get some air, and I'll stop bothering you.
I know you mean well, but I have too much to do right now.
I'll let you talk some sense into her, Hawk.
Varric is very sweet. Frequently infuriating and a terrible busybody, but sweet. Were you looking for me? Nothing's wrong, is it?
I don't come to the alienage for my health.
Checking up on me? I suppose you think I might summon an army of demons at any moment. In the market the other day, out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw Tamlin. I blinked, and he was gone. I don't know what it meant. Maybe nothing. Maybe I'm going mad. I miss them all. Even the Keeper.
Nothing is stopping you from going to see them.
I made my choice. I left. I wish I could have seen it. It doesn't matter. I'm here now. Maybe Varric was right. Shall we go out for a bit? I could use some sunshine. Hell gone on. 6 years in this place and I still can't fix the holes in the roof.
Yeah, it's like you've been sitting there doing nothing for 6 years. Sorry. Let's go see Sebastian.
You seem especially broody today.
Does it bother you? Should I stop?
No, don't stop. But could you add some smouldering to the routine? Just for me?
Smolder?
Oh, and while you're at it, perhaps some cold insolence.
You want me to smolder and be cold at the same time? Those don't go together.
Shush. Don't distract me with your logic.
The champion herself. May the makers gaze.
Thank you.
The first enchanter overstepped his bounds.
He was provoked.
The people want to know which side you favor. It weakens you.
Strength will not win this fight, Sebastian. If the Maker is merciful, he will help them find peace. We can only be waiting when they do.
Do you never intend to give a public answer, Your Grace?
What have I been asked?
About the mages. You could calm this fire if you stepped forward.
The Chantry's teachings are clear. Those who turn against them would not listen more to me than to Andraste.
Orsino and the Knight Commander will tear Kirkwall apart.
They will try. I did not expect things to deteriorate so fast. I thought after the Canary, no one would wish for more violence. It has drawn more attention than I would like. Sebastian, if I can ask...
Anything, Your Grace.
And the champion, too, if you will?
I agree to nothing until I know what it is.
The Divine is concerned about the situation here. She does not want to see the Free Marches become another Imperium. She has sent an agent to assess the danger. Meet with her, please. Tell her drastic measures won't be required.
Don't you want an end to this?
Has Kirkwall not suffered enough? Should it be declared anathema and an enemy of the Chantry? Imagine Hightown streets, filled not just with Meredith's Templars, but all the forces the Divine can command.
Surely the Divine wouldn't treat the whole city as enemies.
She is concerned. It is never wise to draw the concern of the powerful.
She is the voice of Andraste. She cannot turn the might of the Chantry against the innocent due to proximity.
Were no innocents harmed in the Exalted Marches? She will do her best, Sebastian. But she must act first to protect the faith.
What can you tell me about this servant of the Divine?
I was not told her real name. Only to call her Sister Nightingale. She is said to be the Divine's left hand, sent to do work that might blacken the Divine's name.
She's a familiar face.
What argument would convince her?
The Divine has heard my protests already. I must trust your own powers of persuasion now.
This cannot wait.
Thank you. We cannot allow this ridiculous mage rebellion to turn into holy war.
The agent, Sister Nightingale, will be waiting in the Viscount's throne room tonight. She wishes to remain unseen. The room has been sealed since the Canary incident. It may be difficult to get in without attracting attention.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to go ahead and bring Sebastian for this. I think that's all we really need to do. No reason to bring Anders. Now, if you bring Isabella, and depending on your interactions and origins, this can get rather humorous. Oh, yeah. I should read up on what's been happening for these guys the last 3 years. After his confrontation with the desired demon Allure, Sebastian had a crisis of faith over breaking his priestly vows to pursue worldly power in Starkhaven. He questioned his own motives, worrying that he wanted to retake Starkhaven for his own personal power, not because it was the right thing to do. Trusting Starkhaven's fate to the Maker, he returned to the Chantry but was turned away by Grand Cleric Elthina, who believed he had not yet committed fully to either course. Though he has not renewed his vows or returned to his duties as a brother, Sebastian proved a faithful servant to the Grand Cleric over the past 3 years. As Kirkwall grows ever more turbulent, the Grand Cleric relies on Sebastian to be her eyes and ears in the often dangerous secular world. Whether he will again devote himself to the Chantry or return to Starkhaven is still anyone's guess, though Sebastian was heard saying that he will not leave Kirkwall as long as both the Champion and the Grand Cleric still need him. There's power in stories. That's all history is. The best tales. The ones that last. Might as well be mine. The death of his elder brother forced Varric to take up the mantle of House Tethras officially. However, according to the updated official Kirkwall and Merchants Guild documentation, the family businesses are run by non-existent uncles, aunts, cousins, and household pets. This is about the Viscount when, yeah, not really much about him that we really need to know. After all, it's, Huh. I guess I never read this part. Merrill after the Deep Roads. It's a keepest place to remember, even the dangerous things. Since her arrival in Kirkwall's elven alienage, Merrill has had difficulty adjusting. Her neighbors ignore her existence, and even the most determined socialites, in Lowtown across the street to avoid her. She also gets lost frequently, a matter that doesn't seem to be solving itself through time or familiarity within the city. On separate occasions, she has accidentally found herself in the Viscount's bathing room, the Chantry airing cupboard, and in the middle of a dog racing track in Darktown. Everything I do, everything I've ever done, was for the good of my people. Merrill spends more and more of her time locked away in her house in the alienage with her mirror. She leaves only to buy food, which she does so rarely that Varric has taken to having produce delivered to her door. At least she no longer gets lost as she wanders the city. Isabella's return during the Kunari crisis was surprising, most of all to Isabella herself. She blamed Marion for inspiring her to such foolishness, and seemed to regret exposing herself to danger. After the Arishok was killed, Isabella was seen in deep conversation with Marion. The exchange ended as Isabella walked off, saying, "You're reading too much into it." That was the last anyone in Kirkwall saw of her for some time. Many believed that she had left the Free Marches for good. Then, as abruptly as she had departed, Isabella appeared one day in her usual spot in the Hanged Man, drinking as though she had never been gone. Ha ha. 3 years ago, after confronting Hadriana, Fenris learned of his long-lost sister. He has spoken little of it, though it clearly still preys on his mind. He has not left Kirkwall to pursue the matter, remaining in Daenerys' mansion, even though it is common knowledge in Hightown that a friend of the champion lives within. Fenris finds his high profile in the city both intriguing and alarming. Over the last year, he has spoken more than once of leaving Kirkwall for good. If not for the debts he owes to Marion, he would likely already have moved on. As for the night Fenris and Marion shared 3 years ago, he refuses to speak more of it. However, it's clear he has not forgotten. Although any lingering feelings remain unresolved, whether that will change remains to be seen. We will get a bit more about what's been going on with the other characters once we have a moment to go and visit them. However, I think we have kind of been... I guess I should have held off on going to see Sebastian, because I think we have now actually been forced to go deal with this particular thing, because what I want to do was actually then go visit Aveline. However, I don't think we're actually going to be able to do so. Then again, maybe not. Maybe we actually can go visit Aveline now.
You've been watching me all day.
because I did want to go, of course, visit her about this. So
Right. Your armor is shiny. I can see myself in it. Look. Shit. Oh, shit. Is that a wrinkle? Is that a wrinkle between my brows?
I don't see...
Hold still.
Guardsman, duties for the week will be...
Lowtown canvas. 5 on, 3 off.
City perimeter by 2s. Clear by 2nd watch.
Training recruits full metal by week's end.
Anything else, Captain?
No. Thank you. Donick is a good man. I'm sorry, was there something you wanted?
So yeah, she and Donick tied the knot, and so we get to be like, hey, so how was the honeymoon? We're asking this 3 years later, by the way. Because again, nobody does or says anything in 3 years until the game resumes.
You never said how your 3 weeks in Orlais went.
You're right. I didn't.
Ooh, shivery.
Anything else?
Kirkwall seems to have rallied around you.
I try to keep order, and people appreciate that. Everything else is going insane. A few complaints here and there, but for the most part, I think everyone's just glad the Guard has been stable for a few years.
Your men could give the Templars a run for their sovereigns.
They've had to. As long as there's no Viscount, the Order thinks they can bark at any man in uniform. I won't have it. The people of Kirkwall need to see themselves in their Guard. Lose that connection, we're just targets.
Just checking in. Need anything?
Yes, there's something. Come back soon. I'll get into it then.
I'll see you later.
Of course, Hawk.
Thanks to the champion's actions, Aveline and Donna Kendir were married a year ago in a simple ceremony on the Hawk estate. They honeymooned in Orlais, the only time that Aveline has visited the country of her namesake. The pair has since settled into a happy marriage. Although she remains his captain, and he her guardsman, Aveline now strictly divides her personal and private life. She is no less driven to keep her guardsmen safe, but Donick provides another perspective, and she is now giving her guard the authority they need to truly serve Kirkwall. As a force for law and order, the Guard has never been more respected. This brings its own challenges, however, as some among the Templars would prefer that the Guard be under their direct command. Yep. So we still have to go check on Anders. Oh, I'm sorry. Vengeance.
Nothing going on, but trouble tends to follow you, so I'm keeping an eye out.
Hello again, champion.
You think I don't know the City Guard is just another arm of the Templars?
That is completely unfair.
If they show up here, I'll know who to blame. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to see that. I just can't be too careful. Now that the Knight Commander has basically appointed herself Viscount.
Maybe she can stop rebels like you.
Oh, yes. Your Knight Commander has done a wonderful job crushing rebels. You should be proud. The Mage Underground is all but destroyed, and those left have turned to blood magic as their only option, which Meredith knows will prevent any chance of the public taking their side.
All mages are at risk of turning to blood magic.
The Blight was stopped only with the aid of 2 mages, one an apostate, but it makes no difference. The Chantry set us on this path long ago. It would take something truly catastrophic to change people's thinking now.
Dun dun dun.
Our cause is nearly lost.
Obvious hinting at what he plans to do.
It's been years. You tried to get me to repent and turn to the Maker.
Preaching seldom works. To change a person's heart, one
That makes sense. I can respect that.
I grew weary of the strings of nameless lovers and the nights full of mindless pleasure. You will too.
That's the cruelest thing anyone's ever said to me. I think I'm going to cry.
The dregs of humanity down with its waste. Fitting.
Rather dramatic there, eh, Fenris? Well, since Sebastian is with us, we may as well go ahead and do this. Man, I love Scythe. Such a great fun ability, just BAM! Let's go meet this Sister Nightingale.
Good evening.
Hello again, champion.
The Viscount's throne room has been sealed off since his death. A strange place for a holy sister to be.
So, even the Divine fears us now. She should. Kill the spies!
Wow. Hey, Liliana.
The Resolutionists. I might have known they would be part of this.
So I don't remember. I may have actually shown you the interaction between Isabella and Liliana the first time, because the first playthrough I did, my dwarf romance Liliana, which had a fun run-in with Isabella back in Origins, remember? So when we got to here, Isabella was like, Liliana! And she's like, Isabella? And she's like, oh, look at you. And Liliana laughs and blushes. It's really funny.
Are you Sister Nightingale? I am. Or you may call me Liliana. The Divine sent me to investigate the possibility of a rebellion here in Kirkwall. I have some experience in unconventional situations.
The Liliana? Who accompanied the hero of Ferelden to slay the Archdemon?
Ah. I see it will be harder to remain anonymous so near the Ferelden border. Yes, I knew the hero of Ferelden. He is a good king, but that was many years ago. I am working for the Divine now, in Orlais. I had not thought to return to this part of Thedas.
Who are the Resolutionists?
An offshoot of a fraternity within the Circle of Magi.
Supported by the Magisters.
There's no proof of that.
I bet a lot of mages think they'd enjoy Tevinter's freedoms, and completely forget that few ever achieve the power to enjoy them.
There have always been factions that support freedom from the Chantry, and the abolition of the Circle. We have tolerated them, but the Resolutionists have become violent. They are likely behind the unrest here.
I'm a little bothered by how she said that. We tolerate them. And I think that's more so the Chantry than Leliana, but as we come to see in Inquisition, Leliana is, well, let's just say this stuff is getting to her a bit more and more.
Why did those mages attack us? The Divine has long suspected that Kirkwall's problems were spurred by an outside group. This attack proves she is right.
Are you saying you set this whole thing up?
I let word slip that an agent of the Divine was coming to investigate the mage troubles. It is how they chose to react which condemns them.
The rebellion here must be stopped. At any cost.
No, that's not what the Grand Cleric wants. We can handle this, sister. There's no need for the Divine...
Divine Justinia takes the situation here very seriously. She believes it is the worst threat to Thedas since the Cunara invaded.
A handful of apostates? How can that possibly...
The whole world is watching Kirkwall. If it falls to magic, none of us are safe. Tell Elthina to leave. There is refuge for her at the Grand Cathedral in Orlais. She will not be safe here.
These mages are out of control.
Many stories have been told of Leliana. Some say she fought alongside the hero Ferelden against the Blight prior to serving at the right hand of the Divine. Even that is hearsay. The only thing known for certain is that the Bard is often seen at the Divine's side in Val Royeaux. This has caused no small degree of alarm in the Chantry's inner circles. Does the Divine have a plan of her own? What might Leliana's part be? The truth remains to be seen, which will be discovered in Inquisition! Dun dun dun! After all, Leliana could become the next Divine. Just a little FYI, this quest is not in the game if you don't have the DLC to have Sebastian. You need to have that DLC to have Sebastian in the game if you want this quest to be in the game. Just a little FYI.
I've seen less ostentatious palaces.
Hightown is lovely this time of day.
Delilah, how?
Mistress Hawke, I must speak with you. You're the only one that can help. The Wardens mounted an expedition to retrace your route through the deep roads to discover whatever it is you found years ago. It's a fool's errand, and my poor brother is with them. Nathaniel Howe. Nathaniel is a good man worth saving.
Are you related to Al Rendon Howe, the Butcher of Denerim?
Much to my shame, I am. But do not blame the children for the sins of the father.
Wardens range into the deep roads all the time.
But he's been gone far too long. Something terrible's happened. I'd tell the Wardens, but by the time I reach Vigil's Keep... my poor brother...
Why were Wardens interested in our expedition?
Maker help me, I have no idea. My brother never tells me these things.
Do you know any other details?
I know almost nothing. Nathaniel never speaks about the Wardens. It was only happenstance that I heard your name mentioned. Please, go back to the deep roads. Find my brother. You must.
Probably should have had Vengeance with me here, since of course he knows him. No extra quests there. We'll pick up that other quest near the Blooming Rose later. For now, let's go let Elthina know, and then we'll wrap this up.
I saw you at the Chantry last week, Fenris, but I haven't seen you back since.
I was only delivering something. You needn't concern yourself.
But you were praying? Or was that part of the delivery?
I was trying to blend in.
Oh, yes. You wouldn't want to ruin your reputation.
Don't you have a city to reconquer?
Sister Nightingale says you must leave Kirkwall.
What? You were right. The Divine will be taking action against Kirkwall, though the sister didn't say what. You must take the holy relics from the Chantry and leave for safety.
Sebastian, I'm surprised at you. Andraste would not thank me for saving a few dusty finger bones and my own skin at the cost of people's lives.
You do no one any good if you're dead.
When I became Grand Cleric, I took a vow to the people of Kirkwall and the Free Marches. I will not leave my flock.
Would you let yourself die?
There is no greater devotion than to lay one's life at the Maker's feet. There is no better death than to take the blow for another.
You've been warned. Do what you will.
Please, Your Grace. Sister Nightingale thinks there will be war.
Then, I must make peace. Settle yourself, Sebastian. I'm in no personal danger. I am Grand Cleric. Who would dare attack me?
If you will not shield yourself, then I will be your shield. You will come through this safely by the Maker's name. I swear it.
Who would attack you indeed?
I hope you haven't come to try to talk me into leaving again. Kirkwall needs a steadying hand on its reins now more than ever. Orsino and the Knight Commander grow more fractious by the day.
The only way this will end is when one of them kills the other.
I hope you're wrong. I've been talking with them both. Orsino is not an unreasonable man. Surely a compromise can be reached.
Yeah, once we discover the truth about Orsino, no.
I wish I could have stayed here forever. I never wanted to rule Starkhaven.
I hope you haven't come to try to talk me. The Viscount lies dead. I will not leave my people to bear the price of war between the Templars and Maleficarum.
Okay.
If Althena won't leave Kirkwall, neither will I. I can't abandon her when the Divine's own agent warned her away.
What about your people?
They can wait. Starkhaven hardly benefits if Kirkwall falls. But if these Maleficarum rebel against the Knight Commander, Althena will put herself between them and be torn apart. I must try to make her see reason. This cannot end well. Hawke should do it. Kirkwall needs a Viscount.
I hardly think someone with Hawke's proclivities would make a good ruler.
I watched my parents in Starkhaven. When times are good, the city rules itself. Years could pass and no one would notice who's prince. But when there's famine, when there's war, people look to their leaders. Who does Kirkwall have beyond Hawke?
This is probably a conversation for the two of you to have.
You want me to be Viscount?
Andraste said the Maker is king in the heavens, but it is the kings of Thedas who must recreate his worldly glory. I keep thinking about that. Who better serves the Maker? A brother of the faith, or a prince who can sway a whole city?
More people follow the word of their king than their priest.
Starkhaven needs me, but I will not leave Althena to the mercy of those apostates. We must put down their rebellion and solidify the Chantry's hold. Then I can return to Starkhaven with a clean conscience.
If the mages are fool enough to act openly, we will crush them.
I might have questioned that once, but I've learned a lot from you, Hawke. If you act with a true heart, in a noble cause, it doesn't matter what it takes to succeed. You should accept the Viscount's seat, Hawke. You're the only one worthy of it. Thank you for your support. I'd be a different man without you. cannot leave until we defeat these mages.
Alright. When we return, we will be going around doing some more different quests. We will obviously also have to go visit Gamlen. We'll go see what some of those other quests are popped up in those areas. I have to, of course, go around to some of these areas and do some exploring. But we also have a couple of companion quests to do as well. We obviously have to help out Isabella. We gotta help out Justice. But we also definitely have to help out Fenris, which we'll probably do next. Stay tuned.